Let me tell you something the world doesn't want you to know. Every time you choose Netflix over a book, every time you scroll for hours instead of studying a new idea, you are silently agreeing to be left behind. Because success, it doesn't belong to the loudest, the prettiest, or even the luckiest. It belongs to the woman who wakes up every day and says, I will grow, I will learn, and I will never stop evolving. Education is not a classroom, it's a lifestyle. The woman you admire, she's not magic. She just refused to stay uninformed. She refused to settle for mediocrity, and now the world cannot ignore her. So here's my question for you. Are you just living, or are you learning? Because in this world, every day, you don't educate yourself, someone else is getting ahead of you. And one day, you'll wake up and ask, why not me? Well, this is your moment. This is your wake-up call. Educate yourself every single day. Because a powerful woman doesn't chase success, she becomes it. There was a time when people said beauty opens doors. But today, it's knowledge that breaks them down. You walk into a room looking beautiful, you'll turn heads. But you walk into that same room speaking brilliance, and you'll turn minds. That's power. That's unforgettable. Because beauty might get the first look, but it's your wisdom that earns respect. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone so eloquent, so informed, so gracefully intelligent that you forgot how they looked? That's not coincidence. That's impact. Beauty fades. Filters fade. But knowledge? Knowledge evolves. It grows with you, sharpens you, transforms you. Let's take a real-world example. You might spend hours on your makeup, your outfit, your Instagram post. But what if you spent that same hour reading a book, listening to a podcast, watching a documentary that feeds your spirit? That same time could change your confidence forever. Imagine walking into a conversation, not needing to perform, not needing validation, but knowing deep down, I know what I'm talking about. That's what knowledge gives you. Certainty without arrogance. That's what knowledge gives you. Certainty without arrogance. A calm fire, a quiet storm. Look around at the women who lead industries, who speak on world stages, who shape movements. Yes, they're graceful. But what makes them unforgettable is what's in their mind. They don't chase attention, they command it. They've read the books, they've asked the questions, they've learned from failure. They've invested in their minds the way others invest in makeup kits. And that's the difference between being admired for a moment and being remembered forever. A beautiful face might make people look once, but a beautiful mind keeps them coming back. When you educate yourself, you walk with a different kind of poise. You speak with intention. You don't need to overcompensate. Your words carry weight, and people feel it, even in silence. You see it in daily life. That girl who gets praised for her looks may walk into the room and get a compliment. But the girl who spent her nights building herself, reading, observing, questioning, she walks into that same room and gets the mic. And when she speaks, silence falls. Eyes widen, and people remember. That's not magic. That's education. We live in a world obsessed with filters and followers, but there's something more magnetic than any filter. Clarity of thought. Knowing your subject, understanding yourself, being able to articulate your truth without fear. That's rare. That's the new beautiful. You don't need a glam team to feel powerful. You need to know who you are and what you stand for. You need to speak with substance. You need to walk into spaces, not hoping they accept you, but knowing you belong. And how do you reach that point? Not with designer bags or likes on selfies, but with discipline, with learning, with growing every day. Knowledge makes you unpredictable. No one can box you in. Today you're learning finance, tomorrow you're studying psychology, next week you're diving into literature. You become limitless. And that's what real beauty is. A woman who cannot be defined by appearances because her mind is too expansive to be labeled. Look around you. The most unforgettable women are the ones who use their minds as their superpower. They don't compete, they conquer. They don't scream to be seen, they speak to be heard. They read while others sleep. They question while others gossip. They grow while others scroll. And when the world finally notices them, it's not because they're trying, it's because they've already arrived. Because in a world where everyone's trying to look perfect, the woman who knows something will always stand apart. When you choose to educate yourself, when you make time to grow, even when no one is watching, that's self-respect at its highest level. You're saying to the world, I am worthy of knowledge. I am worthy of better. I'm not waiting for the system to save me. I'm saving myself. Self-education is not just about learning facts. It's about building a life where you don't have to depend on anyone for your confidence, clarity, or power. Think about how many times you've felt stuck, helpless, unsure. That uncomfortable feeling of not knowing what to do next, not understanding how something works, not feeling good enough. That's not permanent. That's a signal to learn. Every time you pick up a book, take a course, Google a concept instead of ignoring it, you're telling yourself, I matter enough to grow. I deserve answers. That's self-respect. Imagine this. 2 people lose their job. One scrolls on social media all day, complaining, feeling lost. The other starts reading, upskilling, networking, learning a new software. Fast forward 6 months. One is still bitter, still stuck. The other, she's creating her own lane. Why? Because she respected herself enough to not stay stuck. She didn't wait for a savior. She became her own rescue mission. That's the difference self-education makes. There are people who will treat you how you treat yourself. When you feed your mind, people see it. It reflects in your conversations, your posture, your energy. You start to glow with purpose. You begin to attract rooms you once felt unworthy of. You begin to answer your own doubts with power. That doesn't come from approval, that comes from knowing yourself, from sharpening your own mind with intention. Think of the girl who didn't finish university but never stopped learning. She's listening to TED Talks while commuting. She's watching business case studies instead of reality TV. She's journaling at night instead of gossiping. Now, she runs her own startup. People say she got lucky. No, she didn't. She educated herself because she respected her dreams more than her distractions. Every day, your choices are casting a vote for the person you're becoming. When you choose to study, to research, to ask questions, you're not just getting smarter. You're proving to yourself that you're worthy of evolving. It's not about impressing others. It's about refusing to remain ignorant. Ignorance is expensive. It costs you time, money, relationships, and opportunities. And worst of all, it costs you your peace. Even in relationships, self-education is self-respect. When you learn about boundaries, communication, emotional intelligence, you stop tolerating toxicity. You no longer settle for attention when you've taught yourself what respect feels like. You upgrade your standards, not because someone told you to, but because you know better now. Think of a woman sitting in her kitchen, kids asleep, bills on the table, life weighing on her shoulders. Instead of drowning in stress, she opens a laptop and watches a YouTube tutorial on how to start freelancing. That 1 hour, that's not just a lesson, that's rebellion. That's a woman declaring, my circumstances do not define my destiny. That's self-respect in motion. Or picture a young girl in a village with no Wi-Fi, but a second-hand book in her hand. She's learning English under a street lamp. While the world sleeps on her, she's waking up within. That's what self-education does. It lights a fire in places the world forgot. It gives voice to those who had none. It creates freedom where there was only fear. No one can take away what you've taught yourself. Your degree can fade, your job can vanish, your money can disappear. But what you know, what you've earned through personal effort, curiosity, and hunger, that's yours. That's your armor. That's your pride. That's the crown no one sees, but everyone feels. The truth is harsh, but freeing. The world only respects the well-prepared. You can be the most passionate person in the room, but if you're not prepared, your voice gets lost in the noise. Talent without preparation is potential wasted. Dreams without preparation are just fantasies. This world doesn't hand over success to the one who wants it the most. It hands it to the one who's ready for it. You don't walk into a job interview and expect to be chosen just because you need it badly. You get chosen because you knew the company. You understood the role. You had your story straight, your energy aligned, your skills sharpened. That's what makes you magnetic. Preparation, not desperation. Think about a singer with raw talent who never rehearses. She may hit a few high notes, but when it's time for the big stage, she cracks under pressure. She cracks under pressure, she cracks under pressure. She takes on the stage, she cracks under pressure. Now compare her with the woman who trains daily, studies her range, polishes her voice, and breathes technique. When the spotlight hits her, she's undeniable. She doesn't just perform, she owns the moment. That's what the world respects. In a world full of noise, it's not enough to be good. You have to be ready. Opportunities rarely come announced, and when they do, they don't wait around. They knock once. And if you're fumbling for your shoes while someone else is already running, guess what? You get left behind. That's the game. And it's not cruel, it's real. Think of the woman who walks into a boardroom. She's not the loudest. She's not even the most liked. But when she speaks, her facts are solid. Her research is clear. Her delivery is powerful. Why? Because she prepared. While others were assuming, she was studying. While others were talking, she was reading. That's why when decisions are made, she gets the call. The world respects results, not excuses. Or think about a woman who starts her own business. People assume she just got lucky. What they don't see is the 5 a.m. mornings, the business books, the mistakes she studied, the market trends she analyzed. She didn't just launch. She planned her launch. She didn't just hope for success, she prepared for it. And now people say she's different. No, she's disciplined. Preparation is self-discipline in action. It's saying, I'm not going to rely on charm, chance, or emotion. I'm going to be ready. Because when you're prepared, pressure doesn't scare you. Chaos doesn't shake you. You don't panic, you pivot. You don't guess. You know. And that knowing, that calm certainty in the storm, you know, and that knowing, that calm certainty in the storm, that's what earns respect. Even in love, the prepared are respected. When you prepare yourself emotionally, when you've studied your patterns, healed your wounds, learned communication, you don't beg for love. You build love. You don't fear loss. You know your worth. Because you've done the inner work. That's preparation. That's emotional wealth. That's a kind of beauty no one can deny. There's a woman out there who doesn't post her grind on social media, but every night she studies her